Okay, this has to stop. Hey everybody, my name is Sam Rabbit, and in today's video I'm going to be just doing a little rant video. This is not going to be scripted. I just really need to rant for a bit. So, lately FNaF fan games have been going through a rough patch right now, to say it lightly. And a lot of developers have been exposed for doing various things, most pretty terrible things. Like it's all over the place. They're all bad, but in all their own unique way. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on the whole situation, from the Jonah Chrome situation all the way up to the most recent situation with the Radiance team, the creators of the remake of Five Nights at Treasure Island. Just so people don't give me shit for it, I'm disabling the comments for this video. And if you want to say something to me, but not on YouTube since the comments are turned off, you could, hit me up on Discord if you know my Discord. I'm planning on having my Discord server reopened at some point, hopefully soon. I'm still getting my mod to do stuff. So starting off with the Jonah Chrome stuff, everyone pretty much knows about what happened with Jonah Chrome, and pretty much he was just outed as a pedophile. Like, I'm not gonna put it lightly, that's what he was caught being. He was in a relationship with a underage girl, which is screwed up within itself. And there's people like, well, it wasn't sexual, it's fine. Sure, but if you're in your mid-20s and you're talking to a 14-year-old, it's just not right. And you could say, oh, well, maybe he didn't know. He did know, and even if he didn't, you should always ask how old they are. That's the most responsible thing to do as an adult. And if they're like 14, like if they're underage, period, you should be like, sorry, I cannot talk to you, or straight up block them. Like, that's the most logical answer to do, period. Like, period. And Jonah Chrome was in this relationship for a while. I don't know how long, but according to both the person making these allegations and Jonah Chrome, they said it wasn't sexual. There was no sexual intention. They were just friends, like close friends. Which, regardless, it's still not okay. And thank God he got help, but I was pretty disappointed, because I've been a huge fan of One Night at Flumpy's since the beginning. I've been a fan of FNaF since the beginning. And watching, like, someone I looked up to this creator. Like, if you played some of my old games on Scratch, you would see, like, some of the similarities to One Night at Flumpy's. I even made my own vector model of Birthday Boy Blam's jump scare. Like, I really enjoyed the series. And knowing that one of my biggest childhood, like, role models was a pedophile, just, it hits me all wrong. And it's unfortunate, it really is. And I was hoping that this would just be it. This would be the last kind of controversy, especially right after, just after that hit hard. That was a lot for me. And I'm happy you went to go get help. That is the best possible thing you could do. I'll give him credit for that. That was the best possible thing you could have done. Go get help. Get off the internet. He also demonetized his channel. That's another good thing. But it just seemed to spiral out of control from there in the fan game scene and in the main series. Because, Scott was, accused of being homophobic, anti-LGBT, when he clearly wasn't. He's been very accepting of everyone else, and he got canceled and for some donations, and it's crap. I was gonna make my own video ranting about this, but I just didn't see a point in making multiple rant videos. I wasn't even gonna make this video this as soon as I am now, but with the Radiant situation, I feel like it's just appropriate. And I think people in the LGBT community are being overdramatic. Like, I really do think they're being overdramatic. Now, like, I can understand, it's like, oh, well, I'm spending my money on a game just to end up funding something that's against my rights. I can understand that. I'm a gay man. I could totally understand that. But I don't know. I just think people in general are just kind of over dramatic. Like, you can't even call someone a small name as a joke without them freaking out. You can't. People take things way too seriously. I think people need to just calm down. They really do. They really need to calm down. So now to the next thing. After the Scott Cawthon drama was the drama with Phil Morg, and how he shouldn't have talked bad about his so-called boss's work. Like, they didn't like how he was talking bad about Scott's newest game, Security Breach, which is very hypocritical because he's just like everyone else. The only difference is he's working on the official remake. That's the only difference. And everyone else, okay, I can't say everyone else, a lot of other people agree the game's bad. It was super, super buggy. Now, I actually like the game. I love the game. I say that after I just deleted the entire game for storage, but that's beside the point. Yeah, and people are saying he should have done that, and I'm just thinking it's hypocritical because he's just like everyone else. He's allowed to have an opinion. We live in America. As of now, we are allowed to have our own opinion, and yeah, he has a right to have one. Like, I'm not gonna give him crap for that. And that was just small. Then after that, I believe what ended up happening was something that happened a few months ago, which was the pair. And man, this one makes me almost as mad as the Jonochrome situation. But the only reason why the Jonochrome one tops it is simply because he's a pedophile and he should, like, fuck off. But what the pair did was bad, just all sorts of bad. Like, it was a Discord group chat, and it was supposed to leak a bunch of fan games and stuff. It was like it's just a thing to out other people's fan games or something like that. And what hurt more was, well, aside from the fact that two of those fan game developers were developers that were like, you know, like gonna make some awesome games coming up, like Juniors and Chompers, Ramonov and Ultra Knight. But then there's also Mechless. Now, Mechless has actually been one of my favorite fan game developers, period. Like, I put him in my top 3. I really like their games. I've played all 3 of them. The second one the most. And just seeing another fan game developer I looked up to do this, just it really hurts. And at that point I started realizing I need to quit putting people on a pedestal. Because if you don't know what a parasocial relationship is, that's pretty much anyone you know online. You only know from what you can see them on a screen. Like, I don't know if that explains it right. You only know what is on screen. You don't know what they do when they're not on the computer or their phone. You don't. They could be a completely different person. And that's where I was like, I need to quit putting these people on such a high of a pedestal when they could be the worst people in the world, just like Genochrome. And yeah, I still love some fan game developers, but I've been a lot more optimistic. Like, especially with what was it, Nixon? I love his games too, but if I remember correctly, he was either being transphobic or homophobic. I don't remember which one, and people were giving him crap for that a little bit. It didn't blow up as much as the most recent one, which was the Radiance team controversy. But the pair was just not right, and it's such a shitty thing to do. I don't even know why someone even do that. It's a bunch of FNaF fan games. Why does this have to be such a big thing for a flippin' fan game? It's entirely pointless. Now, on to the Radiance situation. Now, allegedly, I probably should have been saying allegedly this whole time, especially with Genochrome, but then again, it's been pretty much proven that he did do that. That several members of the Radiance team, or at least one of them, was acting very transphobic in their Discord chats. And this is another case I went over earlier. People are kind of being over dramatic. Like, I can understand they're a little upset, but I don't know. You can call anyone an asshole. There's such thing as an asshole. Just because they're trans, it doesn't mean they're immune to being an asshole. No, he's like, oh no, that's transphobic. No, literally anyone could be an asshole. I've had several friends who are assholes. It's like saying, oh, someone who's gay or bi or whatever can't be mean or whatever. That's just stupid. Because I've known some pretty terrible people that were within the LGBT community. The main guy on Radiance tweeted, it says, if you look up to fan game creators and get mad when they let you down, you should probably stop looking up to random weird teenagers on the internet. Read a book about Harry Houdini or something. He's a cool guy. That is one of the best responses to any drama I have ever seen. It's so funny. I couldn't agree with that statement more. Honestly, I could not agree with it more. It is such a valid tweet. It really is. And I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter. Most of the tweets are retarded. But this is a great tweet. I respect this tweet. I really could. Like, you shouldn't just look up to random people on the internet. You don't know who they actually are. Unless you know them in person or something, don't look up to them. Or at least not to the extent some people do. Because when they fall, all it does is break your heart or make you mad. Now, moving on from the Fanverse and fan games, we're going to be talking about YouTubers. Now, you're allowed to play fan games, you're allowed to review them, you're allowed to do whatever you want. It's like an opinion if you want to review a fan game. I was planning on doing that with the Fazbear Entertainment Storage game. However, I didn't, just because it just didn't seem like a video I'd do. And no one would probably watch it anyways. But King Carter made a tweet, and it didn't hit me until I saw this tweet. Now, I kind of thought it a lot. It's like, man, people are really thinking pretty negative about the Fazbear Fanverse. And yeah, then he actually brought up that he shouted out John from FNaF about how he made a positive video about the Fanverse versus all the other videos out there. talking about how the fanverse is gonna die, it's dead, it's gonna end. Like videos like that, you're allowed to make those videos. You can, like, you're allowed to have your own opinion. And funny enough, where these videos are most prominent are actually YouTubers I really like really like. Like, I love Theft King's content. I love Sheep Rampage. I like their content. Like, both creators, I really enjoy their content. And I can understand where their views are going. Like, I can understand. Like, it does seem like it's the Fazbear Fanverse is collapsing. And I could also see why Kane's upset, and probably some of the other Fazbear Fanverse devs, is people are thinking it's just going to fall apart. It's going to collapse. And all this game, all this Fazbear stuff, it's all going to be for nothing. All the Fanverse is going to be for nothing. And I don't think Kane understands this. But he should have expected this game to fail. Like, I know this sounds mean, but he should have expected it to not do as well, just because people want FNaF. It's the FNaF Fazbear Fanverse initiative. It's FNaF games. People want FNaF games. They don't want an arcade game. You can have an arcade game inside of a FNaF game. People play it. But if it's just a standalone arcade game, most people won't want to play it. Especially not for, what was it, $5 on Steam? Now, I probably would, give $5 just to support Kane. But the thing is, all it would do is just sit in my Steam library. I would never play it. I've never been one for RPGs, aside from FNaF World. I don't really care for RPGs. And yeah, Kane needs to realize that people want FNaF. They don't want RPG game. They don't want arcade games. That's why it's failing, because people weren't asking for this necessarily. Like, sure, some people were excited for it. It's like, ooh, a new official Pop Goes product that you actually can buy. Like, yeah, it's a cool concept, but most people that isn't what they're asking for. And I think Kane is kind of being a little over dramatic. I understand, like, a big project, but you can't expect everything to do well. It's just like YouTube. You cannot expect every video to get a bunch of views. That's stupid. Just like you can make whatever you want, people could play whatever they want. They could watch whatever they want. You cannot just force that upon someone. The teaser for Pop Goes Evergreen at the end, but that wasn't something that would cause everyone flocking to it. I knew long before the game was released that there was going to be a Pop Goes Evergreen, like, office reveal or something like that. I knew that from the very, very, like, day Pop Goes Arcade was announced to be put on Steam. I knew it instantly. Like, there was going to be something big at the end of the game. I knew that. But I still wasn't super motivated to get the game. Because I don't like RPGs, I don't like arcade games, unless it's Mario. And he needs to understand that. I'm sorry I'm rambling over the same things over and over again. But I just think people need to, get that. And I think it's ironic how the game's doing poorly in terms of, like, people getting the game. But overall, it has a pretty high rating with a 98%. Oh yeah, and Bill, I'm looking at the Twitter right now, and he literally says, every FNaF YouTuber in the world, the Fanverse is a failure. Scott failed us. The initiative is doomed. Exactly. People need to just relax and calm down. Have their opinion, whatever. But you realize it's going to have, like, a mental effect on them. It's going to. I hope the best for Kane. I hope the best for all the other Fanverse devs, especially freaking Emil Mako. I was not going to make this a rant. I wasn't going to make a rant about this at all. because it's completely unrelated to the controversy that I've been ranting about for a while now. But can we just say how weird it is how Kane Carter hasn't shown anything about Five Nights at Candy's 4 in a while? Like, all we know is that the game it's a green tone. It's gonna be like fun time animatronics with like faceplates and stuff like that, whatever. We all know that. However, that's all we've gotten. And like what, one like snippet of gameplay from a stream he did? That was it. That's all we got in a couple of teasers. Now, with Joy of Creation, I can understand because he had a contract with some company that he couldn't work on the game. Pop Goes, they've been putting teasers and videos left and right. One Night at Flumpty's 3 is already out. FNaF Plus has been putting out videos on YouTube and had an office reveal a few months ago. But Candy's 4 has just been in the darkness, and I'm kind of wondering if Kane's even working on the game. Now, I mean, he could just be working on... He'd just be exhausted from doing a job or something like that. I mean, he's getting paid to do this. And this was announced, like, quite a long time ago. And before it was even officially announced, it's been heavily teased. And I don't think it should take over 4 years to make a Click Team Fusion game. I'm a little worried Kane quietly like canceled 5 Nights at Candy's 4, or just isn't working on it. Sorry, I hit the mic. Yeah, I think he might have canceled it. He either canceled it or is just not working on it at all. Like, he just doesn't want to work on it. He just doesn't have the passion like he used to back in 2015, 2016, 2017, like with the first 3 games. Which I can understand that. I really lost passion for making games quite a bit ago. I just had that drive because that's what people wanted, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I found out that's not healthy. It's the same thing that happened with 5 Nights at the Krusty Krab Chapter 3. That game was supposed to be 5 Nights at Rock Bottom, I think. But it got canceled because he didn't even intend there to be a 3rd game, like the creator. They were supposed to be the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket, and that was it. But then 7 years later, I think, 6 or 7 years later, another game comes out. It's the Chapter 3, and it was a great game. I just think it'd be better if Neil Mako said if he wasn't working on the game. Like, I'm going to go to the Game Jolt page for 5 Nights at Candy's 4. And it's easy to get to because it's the very top. Like, you only scroll a little bit and you'll find it. It's a very highly rated game for a game that isn't even out. It only has 5 teasers on it. Now, we got Transmission, right? This was in 2018. It is 2022. Let's go to his YouTube channel. Nothing at all relating to nothing at all relating to 5 Nights at Candy's 4, aside from the 5 Nights at Candy's 4 April Fool's joke. And I got fooled very badly, and I got mad. I actually got really upset when I found out this was April Fool's, because I am very gullible with April Fool stuff. And yeah, it's just looking back at his Game Jolt page. Like, you got 6 months and you got a year. Like, why does it take 6 months to make a small update? Let's read his last actual update to this game. I thought I'd make a small update. The past year, well, last year, I've been making some progress I'm really happy with, especially in the past few months. I've been working as hard as I can on a selection of things, ranging from FNaF 4 stuff to the FNaF trilogy updates. It's very exciting when working on this stuff, anticipating your reactions to once it releases. I can't really talk much about what specifically is coming up next, but I think you'll really like it. Thanks again for the amazing patience, and remember to stay tuned. That doesn't give us an update. All you're saying is you're working on other projects. Fine, okay. Does it really take you? Does it really take you over a year, like almost a year, to work on updates to the original games? Now, I could understand if you got rid of the Click Team Fusion MFA file. That's what it's called, right? If you got rid of it and was like, oh shoot, I have to export the files again and get all them back and have to work back in coding. I can understand that. But if you have the source code or the source files and all you need to do is update some code, it shouldn't take you more than 3 weeks. It should not. I've used ClickTeam a little bit. It's not that difficult to change a few lines of code. It's a matter of a checkbox. It's a matter of a couple checkboxes and a few timers. That's all it really amounts to. I feel like Kanish is trying to keep the FNaF fans at bay. Same thing with Jason Blum from Blumhouse. They're trying to keep the fans at bay for the FNaF movie. And I don't think it's ever going to come out. I don't think the FNaF movie will ever come out. And I'll probably make a video about that at some point. I'll probably make a video about the FNaF movie and how it will never happen. And release it on the anniversary of the first FNaF trailer. Or the first FNaF game. If there is nothing related to the FNaF movie on that day, I will release a video of me talking about how the FNaF movie probably will never happen. That is a promise. That is not oh, will it happen? That is a promise. Yeah, I think that's enough ranting for me today. This video is going to be 20 minutes long. I'm going to get going. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you manage to sit through my boring talk with random gameplay in the background, kudos to you. I don't know how you can listen to my boring voice, me ranting about stupid stuff that I shouldn't be ranting about. So yeah, I'm gonna get going. Thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Okay. See you guys. Bye.